Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Thursday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. It is Thursday night, which is always great because it's like one day before the weekend. I am kind of looking forward to this weekend, so hopefully you guys are as well. But anyway, you might be wondering what we're doing tonight, not this weekend. We are working on a border collie. It's one of my favorite dogs. I always love drawing border collies. They're so much fun. And I've been working on that new style where I work with watercolor with pastel over it. So I figured, well, I haven't done a border collie in a while, so let's go ahead and knock one of those out. My ultimate goal, I think, is to make it through like as many different dog breeds as I can over time. I kind of want to mix it up a little bit so it's not all dog breeds. But yeah, so that's what we're doing tonight. Hopefully that's cool with you guys. I see there's a couple of people in the room already. We got Rome Dog. We got Kinsley loves puppies. Well, this one's for you then. We got Because I Can. So that's enough for a party. So let's get started. Um, oh, we got a kid in the room. Cool. Happy Thursday. Yeah, it's always nice when it's Thursday because it's like one day before Friday. You go to bed, you wake up, it's Friday. It's gonna be great. Because I Can is maybe do a Sharpie. Is that a kind of dog? I'm not sure. Um, just to kind of recap on the style here, I come in with watercolor. I make like a beautiful mess. I actually like this. I might try to do a full-on watercolor at some point in the future because I'm liking this. So like at this point, I feel like I could just come back over watercolor with paint and maybe try that. But I'm going to try that off camera. Tonight we're doing the pastels. Um, and then the other part of the process is oh, they're super wrinkled. Oh, okay, one of those type of doggies. Um, the next part of the process is I come over with some clear gesso to kind of give it a texture that I can work with the pastels. There's a full video about the entire process up on the channel page, so feel free to check that out. But I'm going to get started with this. Feel free to chat with me while we're doing this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I noticed that the ear really needs to extend out this far. So that's a mistake I made when putting down the watercolor. I could have extended the ear out that far. So I have to kind of correct that a little bit with some pastel here real quick. So it's no big deal. You just kind of come back in with pastel where you think the watercolor should have been. And then I'm going to kind of make this super soft so that it kind of works with that that watercolor that's out there. I don't really want to lose the texture of the watercolor that's going on out there. I think it looks really cool. I just need to make sure that I also have a little bit more of an ear because these guys, they have these big ears and they're just like really cute, adorable, fluffy dogs. They're so expressive. Hopefully I can capture some of that expression in here. We'll see. So get this really nice and soft and then I'll kind of come over it maybe with some additional pastel to kind of make that work. But this is enough to get started. I can worry about the details later. I just wanted to make sure that I do have an ear there, and that it's not just kind of lost. In fact, I'll probably bring that ear up a little bit up into here as well. So cool. I can already tell. So I didn't extend the clear gesso all the way out over there, and I can kind of already see a difference between the clear gesso. You can kind of see that this is just using the tooth of the paper, whereas this area that had the clear gesso on it has this really smooth kind of finish. So in case you're wondering if the clear gesso makes a difference, first off, you wouldn't get very far without the clear gesso in terms of tooth anyway. But yeah, you can kind of see the difference here. So this is going to be super smooth. It's not going to hold that much pastel, but that's okay. I don't need it to hold too much. I just need it to kind of complete that ear over there. Where's Geppetto's little friend? Taking the night off. I forgot where I put him, so he'll be back. That's a great question. I love that you guys are so invested in these puppet stories. That doesn't look like an iguana on black paper. Yes, that is true, kid. I actually went to go and get an iguana ready to go and everything. It's just I couldn't find a picture that I really liked. And then I also thought, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to pull off an iguana. So I decided to pivot on that for later. Rest assured, there will be an iguana coming at some point. Let me guess, you have an iguana room. Kid has a raccoon room that, I've sent a couple of raccoons her way. So I'm guessing she has an iguana themed room now, which is awesome. I love themed rooms. Those are cool. I secretly suspect she runs a bed and breakfast. That's what I think is going on over there. No iguana room. That would be cool though, wouldn't it? Like all iguanas, especially like if you lived in like Florida or even south of Florida. It'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna quickly put in these eyes here just so that I kind of have like a nice anchor point. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on those. Um, I feel like the most important things here is to get some additional structure in here beyond what I've got from the watercolor. We'll see how that goes. I do like doing these pictures. They're a lot of fun for me. I just love the style of them. There's always so much you know he looks kind of funny like that. Don't worry, I will fix up his eye. It's not going to be stuck like this. That eye looks kind of funny right now. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. He's got kind of tiny eyes compared to the rest of his face. But I do love border collies. I had a border collie once when I was a kid. Um, it was just it's so much fun to hang out with. Yes, B&B for the grandkids. So, do the grandkids like the raccoons, or was that your idea? Like say they hated raccoons, would you still have the raccoons in there, or would you have to cave to their interests? Let's see. So I gotta figure out what these sharp dogs are you're talking about because now I'm kind of curious. Because I'm not familiar with all the different dog breeds. I wish I was. In fact, I'm not familiar with that many at all. I uh, I love dogs, but I found that over the years I have mostly the same kind of dogs, and most of my friends do. Like we always have these rescue dogs that are like obviously mixed breed. So I don't really know all the different breeds out there. I've been trying to learn though. I've been going to like the AKC website. That's the American Kennel Club for those of you guys who are outside the United States. And I've been kind of trying to find out. There's so many different dog breeds. There's no way I can draw all of them. But as far as like a mission goes, there's worse missions to have. I think like there's I don't know how many there are, but like even if I wanted to do like horse breeds, like you would think, oh, there's not that many horse breeds. There's like 96 different horse breeds in North America. So I imagine that's a lot more for puppy dogs. I don't think it's possible for me to do all the dogs. Kid says, we had the coon room before they came along, but they like it. Have a stuffed raccoon on that bed, and they always try to take it home with them. Oh, that's cute. I love that. Sharpay. Okay. I'm gonna have to look that up because I can. Let's see. Go with I'm gonna go with this color, I think, for the nose, and then kind of come back over it with some others. But just to get started on the nose, on the nose, get it? Just to get started on the nose. So I'm trying to think, what am I going to do this weekend? I think I'm probably going to, I think I am going to go up to the art museum in Cincinnati. I've been putting it off. I may not actually do this, but it's been on my list for a while. Um, it's a perfect thing to go and do when the weather is not all that warm, and it hasn't been. Uh, yeah, because again, how is the arm doing? Hopefully you're feeling better. But even if I don't go to that art museum, I'm going to go to like a local one. I've been feeling the need for some art inspiration. And fortunately, I don't have to go far. There's so many different galleries around here. Again, like I said, the Cincinnati Art Museum is awesome. Um, I love going there. But there's also like a lot of museums in the Lexington, Kentucky area that are great as well. So I don't have to go very far to get my art fix. But I do find that I do need an art fix. If I go too long without one, I get a little stale. Even if so one of the cool things, like, probably a lot of you guys are aware of this by now, but there are a lot of art resources online. So like, if you ever wanted to go and tour like a European art museum or something like that, Google has that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like being there in person, obviously, um, but it's not that bad either. So like, if you just wanted to kind of get an idea for like what these things are like say you've never been to an art museum for some reason, um, you can tour these things um, from the comfort of your home. Like I said, it's not the same experience. It's not even a great experience, but it is what it is. It's not terrible either. I like um I like doing that sometimes just to see what different museums have. Um, before theoretically I go there. Oh, you get your stitches out on Monday. Cool. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah, whenever you guys are under the weather or something, you're like, got surgery or something, just even when you're sick and stuff, I feel bad. I kind of want to like send you guys a picture to make you feel better. I have, um, I don't know how this would work. I have some small paper. I have some small watercolor paper. I can't fish it out. I bought it a long time ago to do those bourbon bottle pictures, and I have a bunch left over. They're kind of small. They're about the same size as a postcard. I was thinking about doing like little watercolors on those, and then just kind of like send them out to viewers. I don't know, maybe like have a contest or something. Like if you comment or something, like whoever, I don't know, like random drawing or something. Whoever wins gets a one of them. And I think I would probably have enough of those where I would uh I would make sure most people get one. But I've got like these little tiny pieces of watercolor. I don't think I would do pastel on them. Just because like it's a little bit harder to preserve pastel, especially like when you're sending it by mail. I would try to do something where it's either watercolor or watercolor in combination with like maybe colored pencil, something like that. But I think that'd be kind of cool. Get a bit of a nose going there, got a bit of a mouth. We're getting there. All right, I think I am going to like try to lighten up. I'm not ready yet to like really put a lot of detail into this. I just wanted to see what it kind of looked like with a little bit of white on the top of it now. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'll come back to that. Right now, I want to go back to this mouth, get some progress there. So the the middle of the mouth is actually a little bit over from the middle of the nose. So I got to remember that. Left to my own devices, I would draw that line kind of lined up. It kind of bothers me actually looking at the reference picture where this line is not lined up with this line. That bothers me. I don't know. We all have our pet peeves, right? I feel like as an artist, you're probably more prone to maybe not like OCD, but definitely some like obsessiveness. Like you're detail oriented. You kind of care about the details, and then also sometimes like you just don't care at all about the detail. It's so weird. Artists are weird. So like I care about the details in some cases, but then also it's like I've got this this thing where I kind of look beyond the details and not care. It's hard to explain. I can't do it. Just a quick note. I'm using kind of like a, actually, let me use a different blue. I'm using kind of a blue instead of a black inside the mouth because the mouth is kind of cool. Like you have these like blue color, like you have obviously some red of the tongue, but you also have some darker like shades and stuff. You could use black, but blue works just as well up in here. Like a lot of people never use black. They just use blue for the shadows. You know, different folks, different things. But yeah, I feel like I have some OCD on some stuff. Like I want some things to be just so, and then some things I just don't care about at all. Like it's so weird. Like because I mean it's the same in my art, right? So like some of the stuff I want to be realistic, and then other stuff I want to be like just a big old chaotic mess. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Anna Labrie says, "What watercolor paper do you use?" That's a great question. So I just picked up some cheap watercolor paper from Walmart. It's just this let's see if I can get it in the shot. There we go. This Botch. I don't know how to pronounce that. Botcher. But it's cold press. It's just generic watercolor paper. I'm not using anything special here. Great question. I appreciate it. Hey Cooper, how's it going? Yeah. I can add to that. So, like, I am a self-taught artist who is still learning, right? So I'm still kind of a student in many ways. So I'm not, I'm not investing a lot of money into my craft until I get better at it. So I almost at every turn will use cheaper art supplies if I can. And when it comes to the watercolor paper, there's probably some difference in quality and stuff, but not for the kind of work I'm doing. So, like, if I was actually doing a watercolor picture straight through, I think I would probably care a little bit more about the paper. But here, I just need something that'll hold the watercolor for the background. And then, I kind of come in with the pastels over that. And to use the pastels, I have to treat the paper with a surfacing of what's this other product? This clear gesso, which kind of gives it this kind of rough sandpaper kind of feel to it. So it's almost like it matters for the background, the watercolor background, but beyond that, it does not matter much at all. The kind of paper I'm using, and like I said, I'm trying to keep it cheap until I get better at what I'm doing. So I'm gonna err on the side of like, how cheap can I be? So I think this paper cost me maybe $10 for like 30 sheets or something like that. Um, yeah, 30 sheets for $10. So I don't know. It is what it is. But no, great question. I did not put a lot of thought into the paper. Likewise with these supplies here, the watercolors themselves, those are from Walmart. I have a Hobby Lobby and a Michael's Crafts art, and there's probably like some small independent art stores as well nearby. But for me, it's just like whenever I need something, it's easier just to drop into Walmart, like where I live. Like some people are like, "Ew, Walmart." That's like kind of like dumb and redneck, but yes, it is. I live in Kentucky. I'm a dumb redneck. So I do shop at Walmart. Um, they have a decent amount of like art supplies, so like it used to be way worse, but the quality of them, they're all definitely like student level. Like you're not getting any kind of like special art supplies from Walmart, but it'll do you, like you don't, this watercolor is archival quality. It's never going to turn yellow. It's acid free. It'll stand the test of time. The quality of the paper is probably better than the quality of my art anyway. So the way I look at it, it's like I don't mind saving a few bucks. One of these days, though, like like also that I should say I am going to pull this up. This is what I was talking about earlier. Make a big mess. So sometimes I have a project where it matters. So like I'm doing like a commission for somebody, or otherwise I kind of care about the quality. Then I'll get something like this Strathmore watercolor paper, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. There, it's a little bit smaller. I was thinking like, I could do some pictures like this and maybe like do a contest on the on this channel where like, I don't know, you make a comment or you tell me your favorite dog or something, and you go into a like a random drawing or something for a picture. I might do that, but I don't know what else to use that watercolor paper for. It's on the small side, so I do care about the quality of stuff, but also it's like I'm gonna save a few bucks on pictures like this where they're all just kind of experimental. These pictures, I don't know if I'll ever sell them. I'm more trying to build a collection of them than I am trying to like offload them. Like in theory, I might kind of like take the entire collection and offload them to like maybe a vet or something because they're all like wildlife animals or wildlife and dogs and cats and stuff like that. But I'm really trying to build a portfolio here of stuff. Anyway, ask me what time it is, and I'll tell you how to build a watch. Like sometimes I over-explain things. You see a duck, middle left side, and the second dog is on top of the main dog. Are you guys seeing stuff? Am I drawing? That's cool. I always wondered about that. Peridolia, or however it's pronounced. Like I know what I want you to see. I'm trying to get you to see the dog in this picture, but if you see other things, that's kind of cool. The mage, her familiar, and her castle. No way, your art is amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys are very kind. It's getting better. I was going through. You can see that I've hung up some of the portraits that I've done. I hung those back up. They were up there for a while, anyway, and then I took them down. I think I took them down to like take photos of them, and I just never put them back up just because like I hate the portraits that I do, like the people portraits. Um, I'm still struggling with that and trying to find something that I feel comfortable with on those. Um, but I decided to like hang them back up because like the more I look at them, the more I try to like figure out, well, how can I improve these. So I do think I'm going to do more people portraits in the future. Um, and hanging them up is kind of like good inspiration for that, I think. I am spending a lot of time on this tongue here, I just realized, but that's okay. It's kind of important. A dog's eyes and their mouth are like super important. Plus, it's so important to their expression. I kind of want to get their expression in here. All right. So I feel good about that. I'm going to move on to um, getting some darker colors in here. I just wanted to use this blue just to kind of figure out where things were at first. But now that I kind of feel better about things, I'll darken things in. But yeah, I do appreciate the compliments. But um, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong, okay? But the truth of it is that I am still learning. That I am not I'm not the master that I would like to be at some point. I mean, I don't think any of us ever are satisfied. But I'm definitely not there. I'm still learning. I was thinking about that the other day, like how far I've come and how far I feel like I still have to go to get to where I want to be. I do feel like maybe at some point, you know, there is a there's some high quality art in me somewhere. Stuff that I feel like would maybe hang in a museum someday. I don't know, maybe 10 years down the road, maybe 20 even. But I'm not there yet. This is stuff that is fun and I think it would look cool on a wall or whatever, but it's not anything that I think that, you know, 50 years from now nobody's going to care about this art. So, but like it's fine because I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are having fun. Even though my art is not in a gallery or um, you know, being sold on some freaking art place or whatever. It's still fun to make, and hopefully you guys have fun hanging out with me. I have fun hanging out with you guys. So it's only partially about the art, is what I'm getting at. The other part of it is like, are we having fun? Are we having fun hanging out together? I think so. So there's that. Art is intended to be made out of anything, quality or whatever. Finished sessions or when. Jeremy, thanks. I agree with that. So like the the other kind of art that I do quite frequently, I haven't done one in a while. I think the last thing I did was like something for Thanksgiving, which was like a while back. Um, but I also make coffee art, which if you think about the quality of the material for coffee art, it's just coffee, guys. Um, so I don't feel like you need big fancy art material in order to be able to create cool art. Maybe you do if you're trying to get yourself into some sort of history book like Leonardo da Vinci, but I am just here to have fun creating art, and it doesn't take much to do that. Like I said, you can paint with coffee, and you can paint really cool pictures with coffee. It's not just like lame stuff, it's really cool stuff, I think. So do not be afraid to create art. Like, I can see this being like, I don't know, like people are smart, but I can see this also being a thing where somebody's like, I can't be a good artist until I have the right supplies. I can see that being something somebody thinks, and I completely disagree with that. Obviously, I don't think you have to wait until you have the right supplies. Now, there are times when when I even fall victim to that. I'm like I'm watching somebody else's tutorial or something like that, and they mention some product they use, and I'm like, if only I had that product, whatever it is, I can draw as good as these people, or I can paint as good as these people, or I can do this, or I can do that, and sometimes it's true. Um, I have found like with oil pastels, like I'm using soft pastels here, chalk pastels, um, but I've tried to use oil pastels, and I am just not a fan of them. But I've seen people use like Paul Rubin soft pastels, soft oil pastels, and I'm like, those look amazing. Those pictures that they create, right? So I'm like, maybe I should give myself some Paul Rubin's oil pastels. So even I fall victim to this. But anyway, my point is, I'm not waiting around for Paul Rubin um, oil pastels to get to work. I'm still going to create some really cool pictures before I ever get the right supplies. And that's why they call them student grade art supplies. So like these are definitely not high quality watercolors here. These are like I said, I don't what's the brand on this. This is like Daler Romney, Ronnie, Roni, Daler Roni. I don't know who that is. Maybe you guys do. I don't know. But anyway, you can pick those up for like, I don't know, probably $10 at Walmart. Doesn't take much to get started. So now that I've got some detail focused stuff, I need to move in and kind of like get some more structure in around the eyes. So that's what I'm working on. But some of you guys have been here since the beginning. So I started this channel in 2023. New Year's actually of 2023. And my goal back then is still my goal now. It's like I want to practice art every day. I want to be more creative. I want to spend time learning how to do this. In fact, that was my New Year's resolution was, and I even bought like tutorials for this. I have a violin. Um, I don't know how to play the violin. I've had this violin for probably 10 years, maybe longer, probably more like 20 years. I've had this violin for like 20 years and I never learned how to play it. So back in 2023, that far back, my goal was I was either going to learn the violin or I was going to spend more time on art. And it was almost a coin toss. Like I didn't care which one I was doing. I just wanted to be more creative and kind of get out of the cerebral headspace that I'm in with my day job, which is programming. Um, I wanted to like um, you know practice. Like I don't believe in the left brain, right brain type stuff. I believe we use our whole brain, but like at least metaphorically, I wanted to get outside of my left brain and into my right brain more. And yeah, so like luckily I picked art. I always enjoyed drawing. I've drawn since I was a kid, but I didn't really spend a lot of time on it as an adult. So I'm like, well, like I'll start doing art. And then the reason I have a YouTube channel is because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do art, I want to be held accountable. So like maybe if people watch, I'll be more inclined to stick with it. And I do recommend that for anybody who's trying to adopt or like learn a new skill or practice a habit or something. Find some way of having other people hold you accountable. Like make sure, like if you have a partner or something like that, have them, you know, remind you every day, like, hey, you're not doing what you said you were going to do. Like even like nag you a bit. Um, Nobody likes the nag, but it helps. So you guys are my nag. Like you guys remind me to show up every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if I can't make it, have a reason at least. Um, I think that that's important. So I don't know how I got started on this topic, but the thing is, it's like yeah, it's like I am a student, right? So I don't spend a lot of money on art supplies because I'm still learning. Is kind of the takeaway. What I did there is I put in this color and I kind of softened it out. So now I have this kind of like base layer. This is a great way to do fur. So, and the reason why I use soft pastels because they're really good at making these soft layers. So I got this soft layer in here. It's kind of like a background. And then I can kind of come over that with another layer. And that layer automatically starts looking like fur, even though, there's nothing special to it. And then I'll do like another layer for like the highlights and stuff. And I get a little crazy with it and stuff like that, but I usually stick with maybe 3 layers. You can do more than 3 layers, but 3 layers is the minimum. And I have to find from here the left side, which I think is right here. And then I kind of want to form a dark boundary there. Are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing okay on time. The funny thing is, it's like I don't even plan to, but like however much time this ends up taking is the right amount of time. Anyway, I forget whose question that was, but maybe there was no question. Maybe I was just talking. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's really no reason to wait around to get started. Just pick up a pen. It's been a while since I've done it, but I've done a live stream where I was just drawing with a ballpoint pen. I've got pencils that like it's a set of pencils where they're all in different shades of darkness and stuff like that. And guess what? I still enjoy just drawing with a regular number 2 pencil. Um, so it's not really about the art supplies. It's more about the passion for creating, and then you'll find some art supply to do something. Like I said, you can draw with or paint with coffee. It's not like you need that much. So this little black area here, it got a little out of control with the watercolor. So some of this stuff is just like course correction. So I need to bring this closer to the eye. So let me get some white in there and really kind of smooth it out just because it's okay if it's not um, perfect white because like, dogs have shades in their fur. So it's okay to have like a little bit of gray in there. There you go. Kind of build that up a little bit. And kind of Bring that around. But you can see how, like, working with the watercolor and the pastels, it's a really good combination of tools for making something that has a lot of style to it, but it's also still kind of realistic. So you can see the realistic dog in here. You can capture a realistic expression. If this was your dog, you can make it look like your dog. But then it's still going to have this cool kind of like abstractness to it as well. I just like this. Like I only started doing this recently, um, and I may get bored of it over time. I don't know, but it's a style that I've been enjoying a lot lately. Because like you never want to make a bad picture. You never want to make something like some of these portraits back here. They're terrible. They really are. They're like all over the place. They're not very. Um, they're kind of boring in the style of them and stuff like that. I hang them up there almost as like to remind myself to do better. So nobody wants to create a bad picture. So like if you don't want to create a bad picture, maybe you pick a style like this and you just kind of like learn it enough to where even if you do get bored with it, you can maybe kind of carry this into other things, which I've done. You know, I've carried some of the stuff I've learned here with watercolor into like working with charcoal or you know just doing like pastel in general. Um, Glad you chose art. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, I mean, I still don't know how to play a violin. It was either learn art or play a violin. I still got that violin. I still got the lessons. I paid for the lessons. And I guess they don't expire. It's through like an online course. They're still there. I guess maybe one day. But no, I'm enjoying the art. The art's a lot of fun. And there's other like soft benefits as well. So like I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy, you know, like some of the problem solving skills that I learn in doing art pay off in other ways and stuff. So this was the right choice. Team not team nag, yeah. I forgot I called you guys my nag. It's funny. Um, it takes talent. I can never get close. Well, Sophia, it's like some of it is you know like talent, but it's not like it's I don't know, like I feel like when if you're like an athlete, you're born with certain genes and um those genes make you a better athlete. There's probably some of that in art as well, but art is largely a learned thing. I didn't draw like this at first. This is muscle memory now. This is different ways of seeing things. You know, this is like a whole set of skill set that wasn't there before. It's some neurons and stuff in my brain that's connected. Um, this is all learned stuff. I truly believe that. Now, is it harder for some people than others? Yeah, sure, probably. I mean, same as like running a marathon is probably going to be harder for me than it might be for somebody who played sports in high school or something, which I did not. I was always bad at sports. The last time I ever excelled in sports was when I was a little tiny kid and I played t-ball. That was the last time I was ever good at sports. Um, but yeah, so like yeah, sure. I accept that some people might be more predisposed just because of how they see the world to creating art. But that doesn't mean that their brain is fixed, right? So like you hear about like neuroplasticity, that's a real thing. You know, that's something that exists in science. Like sure, it may be harder for you to reformat your brain than it may be for somebody else who's kind of predisposed to it or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you can't. You can find those new connections in your brain to see the world in a different way. And that can connect to your hand so that you can create art. It's all there. I mean, you can do it. Sophia says, my art in college was being the life model for students to learn and draw. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I could do that. Like actually sit in front of people and be drawn like that. Oh man, that would make me so nervous. Like just doing YouTube and stuff is something that I'm getting used to, but being a life model, I hats off to you. Like that's pretty awesome. But yeah, never could I have a pencil. I think you should give it a shot. Give it a try. I always thought it'd be cool to go to like a life model session. They have some here in Lexington every now and then, and I think all the ones here, like all the life models are clothed and stuff. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, you got some time to go and sit around in front of people and let them draw you. Um, and somebody ends up volunteering. But I think they have those here. I just haven't been to one, and I always thought it would be kind of cool. I think that would make me more nervous drawing in front of people at a life model session than doing YouTube. It's so weird. Like I'm totally comfortable here on YouTube now. Like I was a little bit nervous at first, but I'm totally comfortable now. You guys make it easy for me to do these. Um, but yeah, like actually being in a room with other artists, we're all drawing and stuff off of a life model. That would be weird for me. It would be tough. You don't know what life art is? I know what life art is. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think that yeah, you did say like a life model. Yeah, yeah, I know what that is. Um, I think that would be it would be a little bit nervous for me to be drawing with a whole group of other artists and stuff. I would feel so self-conscious, I think. You know. Kinsley says, I love this so far. Thanks. I appreciate that. Hey Jeremy, I emailed you some pictures of my dad at a Civil War reenactment a while ago. I'd like you to give a portrait figure drawing shot one of these days. Jocelyn says, hi everybody. Hi Jocelyn. Yeah, I remember getting those. I just haven't gotten to it. I suck at email. Yeah, so Sophia, like the my understanding is that like life art is like figure drawing and stuff, and clothing optional with clothing, the whole range. Um, like I said, the ones here in Lexington, I think they're all like I think they're just volunteers and stuff, and like they're like I haven't been to one, so I don't really know. I think that you would be able to like do the figure art, but um, with clothing on. So like I guess tight fitting clothing or something. I don't know. I haven't been to one, but I always thought it would be kind of cool. But just drawing around other people, I think would be like a little awkward for me. Like I never went to like art school. Um, I haven't like even in like high school and stuff, like in art class. I mean, I've been to art class, um, like drawing around people and stuff. I don't know. It's been a while, but I can't imagine I enjoyed it very much. Always self-conscious. That's the problem. Guys, you should be embarrassed of yourself. Like they are, man, really bad tonight. I don't know. Like somebody's probably been giving them bad treats or something. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. All right, cool. Um, clothing optional, yes. So they might have some clothing optional ones around here. I don't know. Like I said, I would go to them. Like I'm not shy about that kind of stuff. I would just feel so I wouldn't feel shy being at a clothing optional life drawing session. I would be self-conscious about my art being like drawing at a because like I still want to go to like a coffee shop and draw or like the local pub I think would be awesome to be drawing at and stuff. But like just drawing in front of people and stuff like that, that's something I need to work on. I'm not that worried about it. Like I'm probably overthinking it to be honest. Like I probably would just be able to do it just fine, but just thinking about it makes me like a little bit nervous about doing that. Um, Kinsley says, my iPad kept glitching and wouldn't let me watch, so I had to switch to my iPhone. Oh, well. What's cool about these things is you can come back and watch them later. So if you want that full, like, large experience, you can come back and check that out at a later time. So the top part of his thing, I always have to put in like this kind of like halo stuff. So you have to like when you're doing realism over like an abstract picture, you have to kind of like find ways to like let the viewer know where the animal stops and starts, right? So like when it's just a big old mess of like watercolor, you got to figure out how can I put in that kind of like boundary there. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. How are we doing on time? I keep checking because I get nervous. The dog is cute. I wish I could have done this with some of the chase pics I have. I have some pictures. That's another thing that I wish I could do better. So I have a lot of like really cool landscape pictures from like the days hiking in the Rocky Mountains, um, things like that. I have a bunch of nature pictures that I wish I could translate into art. Um, that's something I'm still practicing with, getting better at it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not there yet. So I hear you on that. I modeled back before computers. When I look at him as a runner and was telling, well, we're all there. We all get that way. That's just life. Um, Rum Dog's in. Hey, how's it going, man? Lorraine says, I love the Border Collie, Jeremy. Thanks. I appreciate that. I love doing Border Collies. They're so much fun. I was planning to get back into art, but recently I've had a lot of stuff going on that I put on pause. Pause. That's great. Yeah, it's tough. That's the other thing about art that's a little bit challenging is like finding time. This stuff I do here, it's all under 2 hours, right? Which is kind of cool because I've seen other people put like a lot of time into doing pictures. So like they do, what is it, like ultra realism or photorealism, that kind of style. They spend like 40 hours on a picture or like, even like 5 hours is a bit much. All of these are under 2 hours, which is something that's kind of important to me. It's not a deal breaker. It's just I like the idea of doing art that theoretically I could do in public at like a pub, like while somebody like if there was a dog there sitting for me or something, modeling for me, I would like to be able to get the picture done in a reasonable amount of time. So that kind of stuff matters to me. I like that eye. That's looking good. This one over here, not so much. We'll get there though. What's up, Packer? How's it going, man? Packer, do you have dogs? I don't know if you mentioned it or not. I imagine you probably do. Seems like everybody's got a pup, which is good. I think it's important. Gotta share that love with your fellow animals. Um, like people who have kids and stuff like that. It's kind of like that. People joke about their fur babies or whatever. It is kind of like that, but I think it's more challenging. Well, it's probably not more challenging, but it is like challenging in a different way to have pets versus children, I think, because like these dogs, I heard somewhere that they have like a 5-year-old kind of brain, like the mental capacity of a 5-year-old, and the problem is they don't grow out of it. So uh, this like my puppies always have like they never learn and you know grow out of bad habits. I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Once they have a bad habit, they've got it. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. That kind of stuff. So, oh, that eye looks much better. Let me put a small bit of little tiny. So soft pastels make it really easy to do these kind of marks over the eye. Sorry, just trying to get that looking right. There we go. One dog, Tilly, 1 year old. That's cool. Pecker's another one of the people I know in real life. He's come out here to Louisville, and we went treasure hunting together. It's a lot of fun. Louisville is like really made for pets. Honestly, they have this beautiful park out there. I think I think the park in Louisville, Cherokee Park, is based on Central Park, or like made by the same guy who made Central Park, designed Central Park in New York. So it's kind of a treat that we have that out here. Now, I don't live in Louisville. That's like an hour and a half away, essentially. Maybe an hour. I live a little bit to the east of that, but I go out there all the time. Same with Cincinnati. I go up to Cincinnati all the time. They have an art gallery in Louisville that I haven't been to. Maybe I'll go and do that like in spring or something. They have the Speed Gallery. I don't know why it's called the Speed Gallery. I don't know if that's the name of a person or something, but I've been wanting to get out there. It's it's so fun to draw like with this big chunk of color. You just have to be really careful with it. That's all. All right, how we doing on time? Okay, we're still under an hour, so that's good. Because I've got a lot of detail in the face, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Hey, we got Susie Penhaven in here. I haven't seen Susie Penhaven in a while. How's it going, Susie? Susie is hilarious. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard her on like a live stream and stuff. She is hilarious. It's been a while since I've heard her out there, but I've always liked Susie. Welcome to my show. Welcome to the art channel. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of people pop up from the Force Fin world, which is kind of cool because like there's that documentary that's coming out pretty soon, I think, on Netflix. They still haven't said if it's going to be in March or April or like whatever. I think they're supposed to announce that soon, which is kind of cool because like a lot of my dog back here, a lot of my people, a lot of my friends are going to be on that, so I think it'll be kind of cool. Dog back here has gone psycho. Susie is the best. 13 degrees there. Wow. Yeah. Like I don't know what it is here, but I think it's around that. It's crazy cold. I am so over. the winter. Like what didn't the groundhog like see his shadow or something, which meant like 6 more weeks of winter? That groundhog. Something's gotta be done about that groundhog. That's ridiculous. Alright, let's see if I can get some. So it doesn't take much. So like you have this smooth area back here, and then like if you kind of come over it with you know, some lighter color, you get what looks like fur. If you have like smooth area and you just kind of like add a few lines or something, make sure I'm not touching it. You get what looks like fur. So doesn't take much. I do think I need a new white pastel. Been using a lot of this. So again, back to the whole cheap art supplies and stuff. I think these pastels even were pretty cheap. I want to say they were under $30 or around 30. I feel like they were around $30 is what I paid for them. And they're very nice. You can get better ones. Like I'm partial to the Rembrandt brand just because I've used those with like portraits before. But you don't need much. This is like I said, these $30 pastels or whatever they cost, I think they were around $30, are perfect for doing these animal portraits as a student, you know. Like I keep saying as a student, but the truth is like this stuff that I'm doing here, there's no reason why you can't frame it and hang it somewhere and stuff like that, same as any other art, you know. But also as a student, you know, you don't really want to spend a lot of money to make a lot of mistakes. So I think that groundhog did that on purpose. Coincidentally, the winter where there's been the most snow. Hey, you might be near me, I guess, because like we have had snow basically every day this year. Like there has been snow out there just sitting on the ground for most of this year. I think all of January was covered in snow out here. I feel like February there's like a close like there's snow out there right now for no reason. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what's up with nature. It's just messed up. So as you move away from the face, so the face has got all the detail, right? So the face has the expression, it looks like the dog and all that stuff. As you move away from the face, you really have to start making some decisions. So like I do kind of want to bring like the shadow down into this area, but I don't want to go too far with it, you know. I do want down here to be mostly like watercolor and kind of stand alone, you know, like from that sense. Um, that said, I do want a little bit of color down there as well, so I am going to, you know, get a little bit of pastel in here. So the thing is, underneath the chin, I have to create a distinction between chin and fur, like basically there's neck period area here. So let me clean my hands real quick. The problem is like when you work with pastels, I use my hands to like smudge, so I end up with like stuff on them. So I do kind of want to get a little bit of. So these are not colors. I should mention these are not colors that are in my reference picture. Really, these are just colors that I thought looked really nice for a border collie. They're colors that kind of work together. That's why I do this a lot in these pictures that I've been making. I pick colors that kind of work together, whether they are actually like supposed to be used or not. So this process here is I'm really just kind of like creating this soft splotch of color that I can then come back over and add detail over. So this isn't meant to like have detail, it's meant to be kind of like blurred out. Because then I have the ability to like add detail over it. So like I have this white here. I can kind of come in and add this little border to kind of form his mouth, essentially. That makes sense. So because this area here is so soft that I don't have to do like a lot of work to get you to think that this is like part of his chin. Like your mind's going to make that connection for me. Like you do all the work in your own mind. Like my art does a little bit of the work, but really most of the activity is occurring in your own head. So thanks. Relax, dog. We're not done yet. We're creating a pretty picture of this like little border collie. All right, so I think I don't know if I'm going to be. Sorry for reaching across the page. I think I need to get some whiskers in here. I don't know if this is going to let me do this. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. I need to get a couple of whiskers in here. The problem is doing whiskers. This is not a very opaque pencil. So that kind of sucks. Relax, dog. We still have quite a bit of time here. Come on. Yeah, good boy. Good girl. You want to draw this picture for me? Hmm? You want to draw it's a border collie? Do you know any border collies? Is this your friend? Is that why you're all excited? Sorry, my dog wants to be part of the, the show. Great night, great art. Thank you so much, Cooper. At least your Jeep started. I imagine you're having some trouble with your Jeep in the cold. Yeah, I'm at the point where I feel like I need to upgrade. Like I don't like to spend money on cars. Like I'm not that guy. Like there are different there's people out there who want a new car every like year or something like that. That's not me. Like when I go and buy a car, like usually I go in there and I'm like, yeah, I don't care if you give me a 7-year loan, and the guy looks at me like I'm nuts. But the truth is, I will keep a car for that long. Um, but I do feel like my car that I have now, I'm probably going to have to like trade it in soon, which is sad because I don't want a car payment. But that's how life works. Car payments are what you get when you're busy making other plans. But you know, like everything in life, sometimes things just run their course. I love that little car that I've got though. I don't want to talk bad about it because like I need a few more miles out of it. But I've had that car for a long time. I have taken that car all the way down to Florida, all the way up to Maine, all the way out to like Colorado and New Mexico. That little car has gone everywhere with me. It's like a friend, like an old friend. All right, I wonder if I can get. It's tough to get whiskers. God, see if I can do it this way. Sorry. Ah, no, not gonna be able to pull that off. I was thinking maybe I could get like the little edge here to create like a whisker for me. I guess I kind of can, but it it's tough. What I may do is oh, this is nice. Never mind. I was gonna say maybe I might come back over this with like colored pencil, but those actually look decent. So, and I've got these pastel pencils here, but they're not that great. These soft pastels are really where it's at. This is how you create really nice pictures, but you do have to rely on like the edges of them in order to create these like little soft lines and stuff that you would normally do with pencils. But that's how you can take this big chunk and actually create like fine lines throughout your picture. You're using the edges and stuff to create various whatevers. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Get fur tufts up in here. Looking pretty good. All right, so I want to introduce some like colors up in here, I think. Some nice purples, I think, down here, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, these newer pastels where the edge is really like still sharp. And I can sharpen this like white one. It's just I use the white so much that it's not already sharpened. But I can use just like this just to softly create these like little lines that kind of look like fur. And just kind of like sometimes I force the stuff into the paper, but you know, for things like this and stuff, I just lightly drag it across the page. It's got that clear gesso on it, which has this kind of pumice texture, kind of like sandpaper. It does a lot of the work for me in terms of like picking up that pastel and like holding it into the thing. Whoops. Every now and then I have to kind of smudge it out so that it doesn't look too rough. Jeremy, your collie looks adorable. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like a little border collie. Like I said, these are some of my favorite dogs. I've got, I've had a border collie myself. I'm going to introduce some greens into this, like just randomly. Um, I've had some border collies in the past, and I love these animals. They're so great. I'm introducing some green here just to kind of like give it a little bit of like you've already got like a little bit of a pool of green down here, but it's a different kind of green. I'm just gonna try to I like to create visual interest in my pictures just by doing random things that don't seem to make a lot of sense, but the colors work together. You know, like blues work great with purples. Purples work great with greens. There's a reason why the Hulk wears purple pants. It's because he's green and purple works well with it. So all these colors they work together. Um, I'm not an expert on color theory. It's something I'm still learning myself. You feel like you know you get to my age and stuff, you would understand how colors work, and I kind of do. But also like there's a lot of room for growth there, I think. But as far as like making these things work, I get the gist of it, I think. Yeah, because those look nice. So clearly I get the gist of it. I don't need to go to school for this. Like, there's probably somebody out there watching this, like, who's in art school, like, man, why is he dissing my art school? Like, I'm not dissing anybody's method. You know, if you get something out of going to art school and stuff, that's great. You probably get a degree, which is awesome. You can use that to actually get a job doing this. Me, I'm just having fun. You probably would like to have a piece of paper saying that you know what you're doing. I love the colors of all of them, but I can't pick a favorite. Um, I dig Sad, a really smart TikTok collie. He changed. I don't know what you're saying there, Rum Dog. Um, MJ, or either of you doing the JCB hunt? I'm going to start the JCB hunt very soon. And then I will find all of those boxes, and then you guys won't have anything to do. Sorry. I'm gonna find all that treasure. Um, I try to keep this primarily like about the art and stuff, but like I would like to actually do a like a separate channel maybe about some of the treasure hunt activity that I get up to, because it is fun. It is a hobby of mine. For those who don't know, like treasure hunts, modern day treasure hunts are like puzzle rooms essentially, where you have like a lot of different puzzles you have to solve, but it's for like real money, which is cool because like, you know, money buys art supplies. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. So looking at these colors, they're mostly they're mostly very cool colors. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to introduce a new. I don't want to introduce a cool or like sorry a like a warm color that just isn't there. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to introduce like a new like orange. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Living on the edge, guys. All right, so I'm going to introduce some orange just to have some warm colors up here in this ear, just to create some like visual interest, I think. So at this point, when you have all your stuff in there, you can get a little free with the picture, right? So like I'm using like chunks of color where you've seen me put in like so much like careful lines and stuff like that. So it may be alarming to you for me to go in and put in big chunks of color, but that's okay. That's part of the style. The further you get away from the face, the more free you can kind of get with that stuff. And it creates like cool style, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the words. You guys don't tune in for the words. I don't have any. What is the JCB treasure hunt? That's a great question, Kinsley. So it's a treasure hunt for like real gold. There's a book that has been published. Um, I think it's for all ages. I think anybody can participate in it. That like obviously you would probably need your parents to help you out a little bit, but um, where's my lighter color? Sorry, oh, it's over here. Um, there's there's a book. There's some puzzles in it. You have to like solve the puzzles and stuff, and then you can like find like money, like actual money. So like a lot of the people who hang out in here, they're all from like a treasure hunt community. That's why you kind of hear people talk about that kind of stuff. They're friends of mine from like another community. Um, for the most part, like we don't all know each other, but we've known of each other for like maybe 10, 15 years and stuff because we were involved in like a pretty big treasure hunt that ended in 2020. And we've just been kind of hanging out ever since on like forums and message boards and stuff. So when I started this channel, a lot of the people from that community came over to hang out with me here, which is really kind of cool. But yeah, that's why we also talk about treasure hunt stuff sometimes. Um, which is, I mean, I think that's awesome. You can definitely tell. So like this area here does not have the gesso on it. Like I just didn't paint it because I didn't realize the ear went out that far. Um, you can definitely tell the how easy it is to draw here versus over here. Like here, I already don't have enough tooth to put down like another layer, and that's what kind of sucks about this. I mean, it doesn't suck because like I'm fine. I don't need to put any layers in there, but it is something that I can't do, even if I wanted to. So you see how I like introduce a color and then I kind of put it in other places. So like I want, so if I'm going to put in this pink, which is totally fine, you know, you can use whatever colors you want in this style. That's part of the perks. Um, you don't just want to put it in one place. It's kind of weird if you do that. So you kind of like spread it around. You like blue and purple too. Cool, because there's like plenty of blue in here and purple. I'm trying to think. I got all these colors. So like I've got these colors that I bought this like big old set, but they're all kind of dark. And then I've got these random pastels that I've just picked up over time. They're kind of fluorescent. I don't know which colors I want to use here. I do like I like this blue with some of the darker blues that I use. I think that's a good contrast. All right. Okay, let me go back over some of these areas where I may have like messed a few things up. I like this guy. I think he looks pretty cool. Um, there might be a few other touch-ups I wanted. Where do I put that? Sorry. There might be a few touch-ups that I might want to do here and there, but I think I'm getting close to being done on this to the point where like I don't want to do too much. I don't want to I don't want to overwork it. That's one of the risks of this style. There is the potential to overwork your picture because you do want it to kind of have this balance between looking done and then also looking, you know, a little bit loose and undone. So you kind of have this balance. Let's see. I think a little bit of fur kind of coming down. Sorry, a little bit of whisker fur there. I think I'm pretty. Yeah, see, I can do these like little lines, but I have to be very careful with it. I think, but always got like eyebrow whiskers. But you have to get the very edge of it in order to be able to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like this guy. I think it looks pretty cool. Again, the style is, you know, at least like in theory, you're you spilled some paint on the paper, and then out of that paint comes this beautiful face. So I think we accomplished that. Little little details. Honestly, so like the next step, I think, like if I did want to go for like the full thing, right? Which you know, I'm happy with this. I like this style. I'm very happy with how these things turn out. Um, Other people seem to be pretty happy enough with it. Um, I think it's cool. I think if there's a next step, the next step would be to take this and then work with watercolor over it to like get really fine details in there and stuff. I think if I did that, that would be like extra level. You know what I mean? The little highlights down here on the nose I forgot to do. But you got to be careful with this part because like it is so fine and you got all of this stuff done that you don't want to mess up. And like the problem with drawing with these chunk pastels is it's hard to tell where you're at, right? So like you have to almost make a mark and kind of guess if it was in the right place. All right. Just wanted to add a few little highlights there. kind of give some form to that nose. I love puppy dogs. Puppy dogs are so much fun to draw. Oh, another show that I've been watching, like just as I kind of wrap this up, another show that I've been watching, um, you know, adults may or may not get into it. I enjoy it. I think it's great. Is the new Spider-Man series on Disney Plus. That is a lot of fun. Uh, some of these some of these animated shows, they're not all that great, but that's a good one. What If is okay, but I like this better than What If. So if anybody out there gets a chance to watch the Spider-Man show on, it's animated. Um, if you get a chance to watch that on Disney Plus, I recommend it. It's really good. Obviously, you know, I like to draw, so I'm into like animated television, and in some other life, I'm probably an animator just because I love it so much. But yeah, so I'm gonna recommend that one. All right. I do think that I'm pretty much done here. Again, I don't want to overwork it. I want to kind of keep it loose. That's part of the style. The style is to make it look like, you know, you put a lot of detail into some areas and then you left some areas kind of loose and undone. That's kind of the point of it. So I think this is pretty much that. So I am going to call it a day. I always say that, and then I like make a few more quick adjustments. I may make some more adjustments overnight. We'll see. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and call it on this one before I screw something up. All right. So I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys had a good time with me. I like the colors on this one. I love the vibrancy of the dog. I think I really captured his expression pretty well. Um, but you know, feel free to have fun with this. You know, the lighting in here kind of sucks, but you'll see tomorrow once I post this that, you know, there's some fun colors in here for no reason. Like we've got some greens over here, we've got some oranges. All these colors kind of work together to create a decent picture. You've seen some of the other ones that I've done as well. You know, they kind of all match like a certain style. I like that. I feel like I'm progressing. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this as well. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed just kind of hanging out with me and stuff. I feel like we always have good chats. Um, sorry. Every now and then I notice a few little things that I want to tweak. All right, I'll work on that off camera. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a good time. I will be back on Tuesday. You know, like I don't know what we'll work on. Maybe we'll work on that iguana that kid wants. Oh, she says she'll scoop that dog. Scoopable is a term around here that people use. That like if I did a good job, then the dog is scoopable. So I'm getting the scoopable rating on this one, so that's pretty good. Um, so I will be back on Tuesday. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have a great weekend. If you're in the cold parts of the country, stay warm. I will see you guys then. Thank you so much. Bye.